There was the Sandie issues. For the last 2 years, I've dealt with Sandie Pierce. Over the last 2 years, I have suffered with Sandie Pierce, and Sandie was included in my harassment.
Sandie Pierce, who has the same agenda.
Sandie Pierce proved that she will stop at nothing, and Sandie Pierce, because Sandie Pierce.
I was warned about Sandie Pierce when I did go to the Smalls area when I came to Dix. I believe because I again complained and decided to file harassment, against the two of them, I am fired.
Again, why? Well, maybe you answered the question. The reason that they're taking shots at you is because your numbers, you work hard, they don't like that?
Yes, you've got to understand that's very rare in Smalls, I was told.
And I've been with UPS for 30 years.
Yeah. Yes.
Part-time operations.
I work very hard, and I keep my numbers up there, and it's consistent. And I was told that that's possibly because I myself wondered why me, and even Dan Kelly suggested the fact it may be jealousy because I am a hard worker and I keep my numbers consistent.
Yes. I'm just trying to understand because, in my opinion, your statement was a reason why you were here, which was all these women, the way you work, but that first paragraph says something different to me. So I'm just trying to understand why you think you're really here.
It just, I guess I have worked really hard to try to figure this out. Why am I fired? Because I understood, Dan Kelly stood up for me. I have had other people stand up for me, and I'm trying to understand. They have no proof of alleged violence, and yet I'm fired merely because a couple of girls wrote violence on paper. So I guess, you know, I recently tried to go to a company doctor here, so I'm trying to, I don't know. Is it all this combined? I don't know. I wish somebody would tell me. After that, she backed off. And even Dan Kelly suggested the fact it may be jealousy.
I'll tell you where I'm at, Michelle. I personally, you know, this shit she's doing, if it was me, I would just blow it off.
Honey, I can't blow it off. It's really easy for you to say.
He was upset, and he pointed his finger at Sandie and made her aware of the fact that I could file official harassment against her. She could possibly lose her job.
Who is Sandie Peak?
Pierce.
Sandie Pierce is another employee in the small sort area that's had problems in this situation over the past year or so, but she has since corrected her behavior.
Hold on right there. Now, Dan told us that this Sandie lady is backed off.
They have been trying to cry violence before, and no one believed them.
Meeting scheduled for today with Human Resources, and it's my obligation to provide a safe work environment for everybody.
Well, why you? Help me understand why you.
Because Sandie Pierce.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
It's
Oh, okay. I'm
more
sorry.
than apparently this Michelle lady. There are others. Why you? Why? I mean, I've listened to what you have to say, and I mean, you seem like a decent person, but why is all this coming against you?
Well, when I first came to Smalls, it wasn't an issue when my numbers were bad. The issue started when I started to get better at what I was doing. Then all of a sudden, there was the Sandie issues with the constant going to the office and complaining about one thing or another that I did. And I was made aware of it a couple times, and this is all hearsay. I even talked to another girl, Melissa Copper, who they've done this to, and she told me that they filed complaint after complaint after complaint against her, Sandie Pierce and Chris Peak. And she watched me constantly. Supervisors will attest to this, that because the natural reaction is if somebody goes to report something, the supervisor has to watch you. I have suffered with this constant watching of me by supervisors and Sandie Pierce because I decided enough is enough and filed official harassment papers against Michelle and Sandie. And Sandie was included in my harassment because she went and filed a paper along with Michelle that I have been violent towards her, only after Michelle did. Both times, I finally decided to officially file a complaint. Bottom line, if I wouldn't have said anything, if I would have kept my mouth shut, as I have always done for the last 2 or 3 years until I've had enough, if I would have kept my mouth shut, if I hadn't officially filed papers, I would still have a job. I rocked the boat. I'm fired. I don't know what else to say. I have no other income. I have no husband, no boyfriend. This is my life. I don't know what else to say.
Or Sandie Pierce is a regular employee at UPS?
Yes, she is.
She never is.
Okay.